Hello and welcome back to Citizen Speak. I'm your host, Garrett Martin. Let's jump into it. Bernie Sanders' campaign is under fire today after they had supposedly taken some key files from the Hillary Clinton voter database on the DNC's website. And what's happened so far is the DNC is saying that Bernie Sanders' campaign illegally took these files. They didn't belong to Bernie Sanders, but they actually belonged to Hillary Clinton's campaign. And as a result, one of the staffers on Bernie Sanders' campaign has been let go. His name is Josh Ersky. He was the national data director. Now, here's what Josh Ersky has to say. He says, "We knew that there was a security breach in the data, and we were just trying to understand it and what was happening." Now, he also goes on to say, "We knew that what we were doing was being recorded. We didn't try to be sneaky at all. They can argue that we shouldn't have done it, but we did not in any way try to deceive them. We created the records of it having been done and did not make any attempt to use it for a strategic purpose." Now, the DNC, as you're going to hear later, they are being extremely harsh on the Bernie Sanders campaign. And here's why I say that. Okay, so Bernie Sanders didn't direct anybody to do this. And it was of the data department of Bernie Sanders' campaign that took this upon themselves, and they committed this act. And they knew about this breach, the DNC. They knew about this hole in their security since October, when Bernie Sanders' campaign told them about it. Bernie Sanders' campaign manager, Jeff Weaver, he had told the DNC that they knew that this was happening because a lot of their files from the DNC were being downloaded heavily. Jeff Weaver goes on to say this. He says, "The DNC, in an inappropriate overreaction, has denied us access to our own data. In other words, the leadership of the Democratic National Committee is actively trying to undermine our campaign. If they hold our data hostage, we will be in federal court this afternoon, seeking immediate relief." And that's exactly what Jeff Weaver and attorneys had done. They went into a federal court. They're demanding relief. There's no word yet on if there is going to be relief, but seeing how it's already late in the day, unless a judge is going to be working late for them, it's highly unlikely that they are going to be able to access the files that are for Bernie Sanders' campaign. And what this was is it didn't have addresses and names. It only had phone numbers, the files that were downloaded. And these files, they didn't exactly help a whole lot, but it was just enough to go, "Hey, DNC, this is what's going on. This is what's happening to us. Can you please fix this? This is how people are accessing even our information. Let's keep this from getting even bigger." Debbie Wiseman-Schultz at the DNC, she says this: "This is the only way that we can make sure that we can protect our significant assets, that is the voter file and its integrity." They're saying that the only way that they can protect the voter files is by denying Bernie Sanders' campaign complete access to the DNC database, or complete access of Bernie Sanders' campaign files on the DNC database. Debbie Wiseman-Schultz, she goes on to say this: "Just like if you walked into someone's home when the door was unlocked and took things that don't belong to you in order to use them for your own benefit, that's inappropriate, unacceptable." Yeah. If this was like that, yeah, it would be inappropriate and unacceptable. However, the campaign manager and the data manager for Sanders' campaign, they had said that they didn't download these files to use them, and that they didn't use them. They downloaded these and accessed the information to show the DNC that there was a big problem, that, hey, you haven't fixed this problem since we told you in October. This could be worse than just us getting in there. But the DNC goes, nope, sorry, Sanders and your campaign, you're not allowed to access this information that you guys have worked really hard to get so far. Too bad, it's not for you. Now, this is extremely bad timing for Bernie Sanders and his campaign because, one, you have a debate tomorrow. And this is going to be a huge issue for that debate. And Bernie Sanders is going to have to play defense the entire time. And then the other bad part is you have caucuses coming up and primaries. So there's a lot of mistrust that's going to fall on Bernie Sanders' shoulders now. And he may not stand a chance, to be honest. I think that there's a lot of people out there who do support Bernie Sanders and will look past this. Now, where I stand on it is if Bernie Sanders did tell his data director to go and get these files and to exploit the system, then yeah, by all means, the DNC is in the correct, withholding information from him, giving him a penalty period. That would be fine. But there's no indication so far that Bernie Sanders had anything to do with this. And even after this story had broke, Josh Ersky, the national data director, he was fired. He was let go from the campaign. So the file also has been recovered. The person ultimately responsible for taking these files has been let go. What more do you want, DNC? What more do you want, Debbie Weissman Schultz? What more do you want? I mean, I get it. You know, it's a huge mistrust of the people. It's a huge mistrust of the DNC, and it also looks really bad on the DNC. So they need to take extremely harsh action to make themselves look like they were not doing anything wrong and that they weren't being negligent, not fixing this problem. So they're being harsher on Bernie Sanders' campaign because they look bad. And that's what it comes down to, is because they look bad, they look like fools, they're going to be harder on Bernie Sanders' campaign than they would anybody else. And to the level that the DNC has taken this, from what I can tell, it's fairly unprecedented. That there hasn't been any case like this before where the DNC has acted out like this towards a entire campaign. And I get it if they wanted to just call for the campaign to be suspended for a day or two until those who are responsible for this are let go and aren't part of the campaign any longer. That would be understandable, but that's not what we have going on here. Now, Bernie Sanders, he's been the underdog for this entire campaign. He draws pretty sizable crowds. He has massive donations from people who are just people, not from corporations or big businesses or very wealthy individuals. It's just average people who are giving him money. And he's done a really great job so far as campaigning goes. But, I mean, this honestly seems like a nail in the coffin for him. And I hope that it's not true. I'd hate to see something this silly where the DNC fails to take action and improve their own security and takes it out on Bernie Sanders' campaign. I mean, what if the United States government were to have their files taken from an exploit that they knew about for 2 months? Do you think that this is acceptable for the DNC to react this way as if nobody else would react this way? I don't think it's fair at all. But as far as Debbie Weissman Schultz going on to say the thing about breaking inside of someone's house, no, it's not like if you walked into someone's house, if the door was unlocked, and you took stuff and you used it for yourself. No, it's more like if the postman drops off mail for you and it's actually your neighbor's mail and you return it to him and then the post office doesn't deliver you mail anymore. That's more what this is like. It's not like going into someone else's house that you don't know or you do know and you take their stuff. This is nothing like that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that it's fair that Bernie Sanders' campaign has been suspended from accessing further information, their information? Or, I don't know, is it wrong that the DNC is doing this? Let me know what you think, right or wrong. All right, thank you so much for listening. My name is Garrett Martin. I'm the host here on Citizen Speak. Have a great day.